Extraction. It's a Netflix action movie starring our main man Chris Hemsworth and directed by Sam Hargrave in his directorial debut. This movie is written by Joe Russo and produced by both Joe and Anthony Russo, who are pretty famous for their Avengers movies. Sam Hargrave, who has previously worked as a stunt coordinator on movies like The Atomic Blonde, Suicide Squad and The Avengers Endgame. This is Sam Hargrave's first time behind the camera, and he does an amazing work out of it. The movie is actually well directed from start to finish, and since Sam already has experience in stunt work, this movie shines in stunt department. The movie stands out for its action scenes. The scenes are quite violent and gritty, and the fight scenes are very realistic. Chris Hemsworth comes completely suited for these kinds of roles. I mean, this guy is tossing dudes left and right, smashing bad guys against the wall and tables, and jumping off rooftops. Every scene he is in elevates the scene to a different level. He plays these heavy-hitting action roles with ease. His turn in Thor is so memorable, and he brings that same amount of screen presence to this movie, minus the comedy, which he is usually known for. While Thor Ragnarok had lots of funny parts from him, in this movie it's more of a serious role. He plays a more somber, a beat-down character with a tragic past who must come to terms with himself. This does go down with the general feel of the movie, and it clicks together perfectly. Talking about the action in this movie, there's lots of it. The movie is quite fast-paced from start to finish, only ever letting up for a brief moment in the middle. The story is also very basic, with Chris Hemsworth's character, who is a mercenary, must rescue the son of a local crime lord of India who is kidnapped in Bangladesh. So while extracting him from the kidnappers, the mission goes haywire and he must struggle to find a way out while protecting the boy who has a target on his head. The action direction in this movie are some of the best I have seen in any movie. While most scenes are well executed and there's lots of grittiness, that there is one scene in particular that really stood out to me the most. It's a 11-minute one-shot action scene that truly blew me away in its execution. For those who are not familiar with a one-shot action scene, it generally is a complete execution of the scene from start to finish without any stoppage or cuts in between. The cameraman moves from action to action without stopping to give a seamless shot of action from start to finish. The camera moves through the narrow hallways of the buildings and all the way to the streets, where Chris Hemsworth engages in one of the best hand-to-hand action scenes ever to be shot in a movie. It reminds me a lot of John Wick with the seamless hand-to-hand combat, and the execution is very stylistic, and to top it all off, this being the directorial debut of Sam Hargrave speaks volume about his camera mastery. As you may have guessed by now, this is an extremely violent movie. If you are very sensitive to gore and violence, please stay away. For all others, I promise you, you will not be disappointed. While this movie is heavy on the action, the story, plot and the characterization lack a bit. Of course, Chris Hemsworth's character is given a good enough backstory. The other characters in this movie lack any sort of characterization of any sort. For example, I would have liked to have seen the characterization given to the kid. I mean, throughout the whole movie, we only get to know that he's the son of a crime lord of India and that he plays the piano and nothing else. I feel this movie could have expanded a bit on his backstory, since he is the second to the lead character and an integral part of the story. They could have expanded on what his life was like living with a crime boss and a father who is one of the most feared people in India. Also, why he has a target on his back. I would have liked to see that aspect expanded much further. The movie does not offer anything else beyond the action scenes, but it does make up for it in its execution. At first I thought this movie is just going to be like any other movie, but after watching this movie, my whole perception changed. This movie is very stylistic in its execution, and scenes in particular seem well grounded and not so over the top like some other movies. This adds a level of realism that works well for the movie. From the car chases to jumping rooftops to fights in alleyways to the sewers, everything is well put together. The movie also has some genuinely emotional moments that add some subtlety to the story. Overall, this movie knows exactly what it is, and it does not shy away from that fact. There are also some interesting side characters that don't add much except for story progression. We do get to see David Harbour of the Stranger Things fame make a brief appearance in this movie, and his interaction with Chris Hemsworth offers much needed exposition and downtime for both the characters. Randeep Hunda is in the movie as a rival mercenary to Chris's character. This guy does an extraordinary job with the role. He goes toe to toe with Chris Hemsworth's character in the fight scene and is given a decent amount of characterization by the end of the movie. Another character, Golsifeti Farahani, who plays a fellow mercenary in this movie, also stands out for a headstrong characterization and depth. Coming to the verdict, I would give this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10. Overall, this movie is great for what it is, an amazing action movie with good amounts of stunt work that is both gritty and exciting. This movie knows what it is, which is an action flick through and through. It does not have anything else to offer beyond that, and those looking for more story or plot could be let down. But for all others, this movie is exhilarating right from start to finish. Although I would have liked to see just a little more characterization to the central characters, the movie more than makes up for it in other departments. Chris Hemsworth also brings extreme likability and charisma to the character he plays, and Sam Hargrave is excellent behind the camera. Those who have not seen this movie, please go check it out. It is currently streaming on Netflix. If you enjoyed watching this review, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. If you want to be notified whenever a new video is up, please hit the notification bell icon to stay notified. That's it for the end of this video. Stay safe, stay awesome you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.